So inside of the new Grow Garden update, there are some, specific items that are craftable, right? Now, the one thing though with a lot of them is a lot of the times they're not even, worth it, to say the least, right? So I'm going to be showing you today the ones I think are actually the best things alongside what you should probably do to grind for these, and in general, like the best ones you can even get inside of the new update. So starting off, once again, do note, probably going to give away this new crafter seed pack, so make sure you check out the giveaway. Just comment your username on this video to enter. And also, a lot of these things revolve around specific plants and items, so these, if you don't have them, once again, we have a Discord notifier that'll notify you on seeds, gear, eggs, weather events. And if you don't have Discord, you can check out my website where we have, a value calculator, so you can calculate the value of plants, crops, and all that stuff. So I can be like strawberry, right? If the strawberry is this and has, these mutations, I can see its value and all that. Very helpful website. You should probably check that out. And we also have the stock notifier there, so you can check out that as well. It also has a notifier. Now, inside of this, there are a ton of items, seeds, and all this crap you can craft. But the main thing to note is a lot of these are, to say the least, useless. Now, what I mean by this is you should prioritize crafting the more valuable things. So for example, right, the cleaning spray, you can get a ton of these very cheap. These are over at the gear stock right here. I don't think these come in stock every time, but there's also a chance that they do come in stock every time, right? But, 10 of them for 15 million, not that expensive, especially considering that. You can also get a ton of them, and not really something you're going to run out of, especially considering if they are always in stock, you can buy a ton of them each time. So next thing to note is over in the crafting system, right? So we have a bunch of these sprinklers. To say the least, these sprinklers are, I think, in my opinion, beyond useless. Don't craft them. They're useless. You're never going to use them. Don't get them, right? Don't get them. Don't get them. Look, we're nodding our heads. Don't get them. They're useless. Like a bunch of them as shown here, right? The spice spritzer, the sweet soaker. These require master sprinklers and are not only beyond useless, but in general, like their abilities are completely outweighed by the fact that you're having to use a master sprinkler to craft it. What I mean by this is a master sprinkler is the best sprinkler in the whole game, which is going to directly boost for 10 minutes with a huge radius, the effect on literally everything. I mean, like, it'll boost the crop size, the mutation chances, and everything. And if you pair this alongside like sprinkler method and maybe even sprinkler glitches if it's not patched, you can infinitely run the sprinkler, getting crazy value. But this applies to everything in its huge radius. Now, this one though, this only applies to a few plants, which is absurdly useless. This one only applies to a few plants, which is absurdly useless. And alongside that, it only does a few things, right? Rather than doing like everything, right? Like increasing value, chances, and size and all that. This one only increases variant chances for spicy plants. And what that means is it'll just increase chances for mutations. That's it. Like, very, very useless. And then the other one only increases the size of the plant. Like, come on, chat. The master sprinkler already does that. Unless it does it like 10 times better, that is so useless. The next thing is going to be like the stock sprouter. Useless. Obviously, it's not hard to craft, but pretty useless. Increases growth speed and gives the wet mutation. I feel like the wet mutation is so common nowadays with how frequent rain happens in the game. So it's not really a valuable thing. And then alongside that, we also have, the tropical mist sprinkler. Increases growth speed and size bonus for tropical plants. This one's actually not that bad considering it's a godly sprinkler. And then this one increases size on berry type plants, takes a grape berry and all that stuff, and a godly sprinkler. Once again, I feel like these ones are more valuable because they do normal type stuff with like increasing size. And then this one honestly is my favorite because it increases growth speed, size bonuses for tropical plants for 4 minutes, right? And it only costs a godly and some basic plants rather than a master sprinkler and then doing like a basic thing. The next thing is going to be this one, which will freeze flower type plants. So what this means is if the plant is a flower type, so things like sunflowers, I don't think a honeysuckle, but then, the ember lily, things like that, it'll just directly freeze them rather than having to get, frozen or wet and then chilled and all that stuff. Very helpful for scenarios like that. But one thing to note, once again, is its crafting recipe is not, absurdly dumb to craft. It's an orange tulip, daffodil, advanced sprinkler, and basic sprinkler. So I feel like this one, if you need it, is worth getting because once again, it's not hard to get or expensive. But my favorite things in this update are going to be the further down ones, right? So the first one we have is the pack beast. So this will increase your backpack size by 50. This one is my favorite, honestly. Like the other ones are helpful, but this one is my favorite. So you can increase your inventory size, and I don't think this is like infinite. So once again, this is a placeholder in value. So I'm going to crop it real fast. So pretty much this thing, I believe, isn't an item rather than you just obtain it. So if I search pack, yeah, pack B. So this is, oh yeah. So this is an actual bee, right? So this one is going to get placed down in your garden. Holy crap, that is a huge. So if I want to pick up this bee, place this one down, this one is going to do nothing except just increase the player size of my backpack. So this is going to continuously do this, right? Huge value out of it, honestly. And alongside this, it's also just in general really overpowered, because increasing your backpack size is so helpful for so many scenarios, like grinding with the raccoons or things like that. So I very much love this pet, and alongside that, like, it's just really helpful in general. The next is going to be the chocolate spray and the shocked one. So the shocked one, I feel like, isn't really more worth it as the chocolate one is, because you have to put a lightning rod down, and the lightning rod already does that, but like to everything in the lightning rod radius. So it seems kind of useless to try to build an entire system around this, when instead you could plant the lightning rod, because with the lightning or the shocked spray, right, it only works on one item. So like say this one right here, that'll remove that, but it does the same thing where it's like it just removes or adds the mutation onto it. So it seems once again like one of those things where it's like, if you are in the scenario where you can build it, buy it or whatever, and you need the shocked mutation or whatever, then yeah, go ahead. But besides that, it's like, I don't think, with, once again, thunderstorms aren't that rare or uncommon. And if you AFK and put the lightning rod down, not only are you gonna come back to the shocked mutation on everything in your garden, but alongside that, it's gonna affect everything in your garden, not just a single item. Next is going to be the chocolate one. This one's my favorite because, once again, the chocolate mutation isn't ultra rare, but what it does have is, since this isn't normally obtainable, so it's only obtainable via the poop rain that the admins can only run, rarely that they do, and then alongside that, chocolate sprinklers, which aren't in the game anymore. This allows you to furthermore get, once again, another mutation on, say, like a high value plant you're grinding, and alongside that, just really helpful and overpowered in general. But once again, this one also isn't even that hard to craft. It takes cleaning spray, 1 cacao and 20 honey, 12 minutes rather than 250 honey and a rare item. And once again, yes, it is a rare, it's a low value mutation, but it is just yet another thing you can add on, which I do love about that. But alongside that, that's pretty much most of the items in general. So once again, if this video helps you out, make sure to leave a like. Check out the Discord server. Once again, a lot of these items do take user specific things. So if you check out the Discord server in the description alongside my website, which I'll show you in a second, we have a seed stock, gear stock notifier, egg stock notifier, and a weather event notifier, alongside a very, very trustable trading server that I validate myself. And we have me website, which, if you want to check me website, we have the beautiful garden calculator where you can see the value of every plant alongside mutations, friend boosts and all this stuff that you can add together, and the livestock. So if you can't, use Discord server or Discord, we have this, which will do the same thing, but honestly better. So you can see the cosmetic stop, the honey shop from the queen bee. Alongside that, you can see the eggs, gear, seed. You can't see the weather yet. I'm wanting to look into adding that soon, but once again, regardless, very helpful. You should check that out. And I might, give away some of these seed packs later in the Discord server. So check that out as well.